Hi, Alan Greenspan. My name is Megan Badix. Most folks call me Mo. This is going to be a little bit awkward for me because I don't know you. I was 8 years old when Ronald Reagan appointed you chairman of the Federal Reserve. While you were getting accolades and earning a reputation as a rock star economist, I was getting grants for my abilities to arrange and design objects on a stage. I was making performances. Were you pushed fiercely for deregulation in the name of the principle of the free market? I was doing some fierce exploration of my own, working on an organic farm, riding around on a biofueled bus, hitchhiking from Oklahoma to Washington, D.C., where I protested George W. Bush's second inauguration and was arrested. The next year, Bush gave you the Presidential Medal of Honor. A few years later, I kind of had an existential crisis. A few years after that, the economy crashed. I don't know you, Alan Greenspan. I can read all the interviews in the New York Times. I can watch footage of you on YouTube for hours. I can know that you wrote most of your autobiography while soaking in your bathtub, but that still doesn't really give me a connection to you. I understand that you were one of Ayn Rand's fervent followers, that she was a stabilizing force in your life, and that you came of age in an America that was predominantly concerned with battling communism. It seems like the belief you had in the free market to regulate itself was near religious, and still is. Let's not get into the essence of capitalism, Mr. Greenspan. I have not, like you, devoted most of my life to the examining and administrating of economic policies. But once you ignore the warning of someone very well educated in these matters, you probably already know who I'm talking about. A woman named Brooksley Born was the chairman of the Commodities Futures Trading Commission in the late 90s. She was very well educated in financial law, the first female president of the Stanford Law Review. She was especially concerned with the derivatives market and its total lack of oversight. You, on the other hand, felt that fraud didn't even need to be regulated, so great was your trust in the market. Brooksley Born went through 4 congressional hearings in which she repeatedly warned of the economic consequences of unregulated derivatives. You and your colleagues basically shut her down, implied that her ideas were dangerous and ridiculous, and prohibited the commission from regulation. She resigned in 1999. According to the Wall Street Journal, the critics of your tenure fault you on 2 counts. First, they say, your Fed lowered rates too much from 2001 to 2003. Low rates fueled mortgage borrowing, driving home prices to unsustainable heights. Second, they say, the Fed was lax in their regulatory role. This lax is evident in the derivatives market. On October 23, 2008, almost 10 years after Brooksley Born resigned, it was you sitting in a congressional hearing, having to defend your ideals. This is how the New York Times recounts it. You had the authority to prevent irresponsible lending practices that led to the subprime mortgage crisis. You were advised to do so by many others, said Representative Henry A. Waxman of California. Do you feel that your ideology pushed you to make you decisions that you wish you had not made? Mr. Greenspan conceded, yes. I've found a flaw. I don't know how significant or permanent it is, but I've been very distressed by that fact. That was important, Alan Greenspan. For someone like you, Presidential Medal of Honor, 5-term Fed chairman, financial rock star, and free market devotee, to admit a flaw, that was significant. And I want to let you know how much I appreciate it. And I know you didn't totally let go of your ideals. In your own words, I've been going for 40 years or more with the very considerable evidence that it was working exceptionally well. And while I don't agree with your beliefs, I respect your freedom to have them. So I'd like to make an apology to you, Alan Greenspan. I spent many years of my life demonizing folks like you. I believe that your devotion to the free market stemmed from greed and loyalty to your rich colleagues. I believed your worldview was callous and evil, and that you personally were also callous and evil. I did not consider even for a moment that you really did think an unregulated market would serve the greater good and actually make for a prosperous society. But your apology kind of changed that for me. Your moment of pause showed me a glimpse of a man who was genuinely disturbed by the consequences of his actions. It made me think that despite our differences, despite the fact that we don't know each other, we just might share a common interest, that we want people to thrive and be happy. It's been 4 years since the congressional hearing, Alan Greenspan, and I've done a lot of thinking. I think that maybe the most important thing is not that you and I disagree on the essence of the free market. Maybe the most important thing is that we remember what's at stake, admit when we're wrong, learn our lessons, and move forward. That we communicate respectfully despite our differences and strive for a healthy compromise. You're still consulting and speaking, influencing the way money moves. I'm still making performances. We still don't know each other. But I just wanted to let you know. My name is Mo, and I'm sorry.